This is a video that I have never done before because I'm still only a couple of years into BookTube and really only got back into reading a couple of years ago. So I've looked, like last year I looked at the 2020 book releases and like there wasn't a whole lot that caught my eye. And I found a list of a bunch that sound interesting, but there still aren't a ton that are like, oh, I have to read that, I'm so excited. You know what I mean? So I guess we'll just go through them. Okay. A Vow So Bold and Deadly. This one's January 26th, and this one is book 3 from the O Curse So Dark and Lonely and Heart So Fierce and Broken. So this is the trilogy, and I've read the first 2 books and I like them, so I'm looking forward to reading that one. So I think for the ones that I don't know anything about other than what the synopsis says, I might just read a couple of sentences. The next one is The Mask of Mirrors, which comes out on January 19th. The sentence says, a rich and dazzling fantasy adventure in which a con artist, a vigilante, and a crime lord must unite to save their city. Nightmares are creeping through the city of dreams. So that sounded interesting enough for me. Some of them, like this one, Mirror's Edge, I have a question mark on because this is book 3 from Scott Westerfeld's series. I don't know how many there will be, but this is book 3 and I haven't read any of them yet, so it's like, will I? I'm not sure. City of the Uncommon Thief, that is released on February 9th. And this one just says, a story of a quarantined city gripped by fear and of the war that can free it. Many things are common knowledge. No book in any of the city's libraries reveals its place on a calendar or map. I don't know. I don't quite understand, but it sounds a little bit interesting. The Electric Kingdom, also February 9th. When a deadly fly flu sweeps the globe, it leaves a shell of the world that once was. A swarm of infected flies roam the earth. These few survivors navigate the woods of post-apocalyptic New England. So, kind of fitting for the times. The Wide Starlight, which comes out February 16th. This one sounded interesting because it said, never whistle at the northern lights, the story goes, or they'll sweep you down from the sky and carry you away. 16-year-old Eileen Davis knows it's true. She was there 10 years ago on a frozen fjord in Svalbard, Norway, the night her mother whistled at the lights and then vanished. So that sounds super cool. The Bright and the Pale, which comes out March 2nd. Valeria is one of the only survivors of the Freeze, a dark magical hold, not mountain unleashed over her village. Everyone, including her family, is trapped in an unbreakable sheet of ice. Kind of interesting. The Conductors, which is released on March 2nd. This one sounded interesting because this is post the Civil War, in which Hetty and Benji, who are survivors of the Underground Railroad, and I think they're a couple, and they end up becoming like sleuths or their own detectives, and they solve crimes and stuff. So I thought that was a very interesting backstory behind, I guess, a detective style duo. Okay, so this next one is called All the Murmuring Bones, which is released March 9th. This one is a mermaid story, which intrigues me right off the bat because of that. This is about a young child called Mirren. Long ago, her family prospered due to a deal struck with the Mer, the terrifying creatures who live in the depths of the sea. Safety for the merchant ships in return for a child of each generation. So, something goes awry, I guess, and that sounds interesting. Sing Me Forgotten, which is also released March 9th. This one sounded kind of cool because it sort of feels a teeny bit like, maybe not, but it feels circusy or something like that. Anyway, Ida does not exist, at least not beyond the opulent walls of the opera house. Cast into a well at birth for being one of the magical few who can manipulate memories when people sing, she was saved by Cyril, the opera house's owner. Since that day, he has given her sanctuary from the murderous world outside. All he asks in return is that she use her power to keep ticket sales high. So it kind of sounds like an interesting play there. The next one is Namesake, which is book 2 from Fable. I think Fable's the first one. I forget who the author is, but this one's released March 16th, and this one I also don't know if I'm going to get to, depending on if I can get to the first one, you know? So there's that. This one sounded like it would appeal to our bookish loving hearts. The Shadow in the Glass. Looks like it should be released on March 18th. So this one, it sounds like it's a bit of a twist on the Cinderella story. So her name is Ella. She's forced to work under hard, unforgiving, lecherous gaze of the man she once called stepfather. So you see that little twist on the original tale. Her only refuge is in the book she reads by candlelight. Secreted away in the library she isn't permitted to enter. One night among her beloved books of far-off lands, Ella's wishes are granted. At the stroke of midnight, a fairy godmother makes her an offer that will change her life. So, yeah, that one sounds fun. The next one is Oath of the Brotherhood. This one's supposed to be released January 12th. The little synopsis here doesn't sound overly interesting, but it sounds like it has potential. In a kingdom where the old ways hold fast and a man's worth lies entirely in his skill with the sword, Connor is a scholar, a musician, and a follower of the forbidden faith. He never expects to fall in love with the rival king's sister, nor does he suspect his gift with the harp touches on the realm of magic. So, maybe. The next one is Hours to Kill, which is released on March 16th. This one I have on the list because I just read Seconds to Live by Susan Sleeman in November, and I really enjoyed it. So this is book 3, so I'll have to read book 2 before I get to that one, obviously. But I'm looking forward to that one. This next one sounds a bit like a treasure hunt. It's called A Piece of the Moon, and it's released April 6th. This one is an inspiring Southern fiction story. When eccentric millionaire Gideon receives a divine revelation to hide his earthly treasure somewhere in the hills, and then years later, there are people looking for this treasure. So, yeah, sounds like it has potential. If it rains, and it sounds, I'm not sure about it, but I might give it a try. So it's 1935 Oklahoma. 14-year-old Catherine is a Spitfire born with severe club foot. Her older sister gets married, and then we see her father take her to a new surgery in a different city that could possibly fix her feet, as well as stuff going on with her sister in her new marriage. So apparently there's like, it's not dual timeline, but it's dual perspective, dual storyline, I guess you could say, because you're following their separate journeys, but I'm assuming they mingle together because they're sisters. So sounds like maybe. This next one, In a Far Off Land, is to be released in May of this year, or of 2021. And it sounds like, so as the Great Depression hits the Midwest, Minerva runs away to Hollywood. She's determined to make it in Hollywood and to save her family farm and stuff. I think there are some things that get, some lines that get blurry and some compromises made. And then all of a sudden she wakes up next to a dead film star and is on the run for a murder she didn't commit. So, sounds kind of exciting. This one is called Pudge and Prejudice, supposed to be released on January 12th, and I'm really actually kind of excited for this one. It's a Pride and Prejudice retelling, obviously. It's set in the early 80s, which is kind of cool. And the main character, the female main character, is, I guess, a little bit overweight, or I don't know, has some extra curves. So yeah, I'm kind of excited for that, mostly because of the 80s setting. Really interested to see how they create that kind of atmosphere. Come Back to Me sounds really interesting to me. It's supposed to be released in July of 2021. The ultimate cure that could heal any disease? Crazy. That's exactly what research scientist Marion has always believed about her father's obsession. Even if it does come from a desire to save her sister Ellen from the genetic disease that stole their mother from them. But when her father falls into a coma after drinking a vial of holy water believed to contain traces of residue from the tree of life in the Garden of Eden, all of Marion's assumptions must be questioned. He's left behind tantalizing clues that suggest he's crossed back in time. Insane. Until Marion tests his theories herself. So, that one sounds really good. This next one is called Court of Swans. Supposed to be released on January 5th. And this one is by Melanie Dickerson. So she has just wrapped up her Hagenheim series, which are fairy tale retellings. And now it looks like she is starting a new series, which are more fairy tale retellings. So kind of interesting. I'm sure she's building a new world, maybe? I don't know. But for the reason that it's Melanie Dickerson, I am interested in trying it because I like her stories. So this one is a retelling of the Wild Swans, which I don't actually know the fairy tale of. So yeah, there's that. And this last one for fiction is The Vanishing of Loxby Manor. This one's supposed to be released on January 26th. This one, I'm not super interested, but a little bit interested, so I thought I would share it. After 5 years abroad, Charity returns to Loxby Manor, the home of dear friends. She's now haunted by a painful secret and the demise of her dreams. Instead of the healing and happiness she hopes to find, she encounters a darkness lurking in the shadows of the once familiar house. When her friend Celine disappears the very night of her arrival, Charity is determined to uncover the truth. So, yeah, we'll see. So the next one I have is Being a Christian Without Being an Idiot, written by Brad Stein, who is a Christian comedian. I'm a little unsure as to how this one will go because I used to really love his comedy, but lately it's not been jiving with me. He's just a bit too aggressive, I guess. Aggressive comedy. I don't know. But anyway, I'm kind of interested in it because of it being written by a comedian. It might be funny. Funny's good. That one said is supposed to be released December 8th of 2020. So it's probably already out, but I just came across it and thought I would share that with you as well. All of these are set to release in the first half of 2021, and I couldn't really find much that were being released for the second half, so I think I might have to do another one of these videos in summertime. So I guess this is the books I'm looking forward to in the first half of 2021. Let me know if you have heard of any other ones that I should look into that I did not list, or let me know if any of these that I have mentioned like speak to you and make you really interested. So yeah, I guess I'll wrap up the video here and say thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day and a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!